I'm super excited for it. Let's go ahead and start out with the Jets, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Jets had a game this week. They finally beat somebody. I know none of us believe it, but yes, finally the Jets have beat somebody, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, this game was, I mean, what's to be expected? I mean, at this point, I kind of thought it took a little bit long for Aaron Rodgers and for the Jets to finally get a win. I didn't think it would take this long though, and this definitely took a lot longer than what I anticipated, but I'm not entirely surprised. It's still the Jets, ladies and gentlemen. At least they finally got a win. They brought up their season up to 4-10 now. So now they are 4-10. So they're a little bit better. As you can see, vintage performance by Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers carry the Jets past defenseless Jaguars 32-25. Devontae Adams and Rodgers gave the New York Jets next general manager and head coach something to ponder with a glimpse into the past and potentially the future, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that 32-25 win. Right now, they are number 8 in the draft order. So if you were to go to the Thankathon, ladies and gentlemen, you would have the New Jersey Jets, the New York Jets. They're actually currently right now number 8 in the draft order, according to Tankathon.com, because that's literally where I get it from. They're 4-10. Only Cleveland, Tennessee, Carolina, Jacksonville, New England, Giants, and Vegas are number 1. Clearly, Jacksonville is not looking to win, so I'm not even surprised. Again, you saw from the AP, their defense wasn't really trying that much. So, what could we expect from them? Really, not that much. I'm not surprised at all. As you can see, both teams were able to score in that first half of the first half. Jets scored 7, 13 by the Jaguars. But that second half, that's really where the Jets defense kind of clamped down a little bit more. And they were able to go ahead and limit the amount of production by the Jaguars offense. And finally, like the AP alluded to earlier, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams finally getting touchdowns. As you can see in that third quarter touchdown, one yard touchdown by Aaron to Devontae. And then again in the fourth quarter, you had the 71-yarder that Aaron sent over to Adams. That one, I'm not going to lie, that one was a lot better. They were able to convert that 2-point conversion, so that's good for them just to try to give themselves a little bit of cushion. But again, you can see over here the defense still let up and allowed the Jags to get that 43-yard field goal. You also had Brees Hall rush in for that 1-yard line. This is a literal reason why the um the Jets were able to win. You know, that extra touchdown that they got late by Brees Hall. Funny enough, this game kind of broke down how the Miami Dolphins played the Jets 2 weeks ago. It was practically the exact same thing. It was kind of back and forth, and then we tied it up with that last touchdown at the end of the game. Came back, and in overtime, we were able to go ahead and win, get the touchdown, and take the win from the Jets. Essentially, the same thing kind of happened here, but the Jets were able to do it within the 4 quarters. We just needed the extra time. Mac Jones, 31 of 46, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers playing a pretty decent game, just above 500 though, or 50% completion at 16 for 30, 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. ETN for the Jags had 14 carries, 65 yards, and you had Aaron Rodgers which I'm shocked because he's like 100 years old. But 6 carries for 45 yards. Um, that's kind of sad, being that they have Brees Hall and he and Aaron Rodgers ended up being the one with more yardage. Then you had a field day for Devontae Adams. He had 9 receptions, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns versus Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie, who had 10 receptions, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'll tell you this: he was only 200 yards away, or 2 yards away from 200 yards. Why couldn't you get the last 2 yards? Look, the Jets right now are not really trying to win, but this was just an inevitable win that they had. I'm not even surprised that they ended up winning. Like I said, the Jets defense definitely played a little bit better, getting those 2 turnovers. And the Jets not allowing any turnovers on their side. The yardage was kind of the same between both teams: 400 for the Jets, 421 for the Jags. And the first down's the same: 22 for the Jets, 27 for the Jags. So this ended up being a very even game. Except time of possession definitely favored the Jags, which means the Jets defense was definitely a little bit more gassed there. I will tell you this: this was in Jacksonville. I've been to this stadium, guys. They've got a pool in there, a literal pool. Like, you see where this camera angle is setting? The pool is literally on this side of the field. Like where my little cursor is at, it's right on this corner. It's awesome. That's all I gotta say. It's dope. And people, yes, people do go in it. So it's gonna be very interesting. But that is the Jets beating the Jags, ladies and gentlemen. What does this mean for the Jets? Again, they're not trying to play hard. They don't have a head coach, they don't have a GM. All they're trying to do is just try to get through the next steps. And at this point, it's to honestly just try to get the most they can. Again, they're eighth in the draft order. They're probably going to stay top 10 anyways. So we just have to see how that shakes up.